Mike Orlando has not gotten the same amount of, let's say, underground buzz as maybe a Jay White or John Gresham. But make no mistake about it, Orlando is a very highly touted prospect from many very high-ranking officials and insiders in this industry, and he is pretty much a natural athlete dating back to high school and college. He can do a lot more than just pro wrestling as well. A individual that has been very prolific with the Monster Factory lately, which is one of the most high-profile and respected training schools in the world. And he's made it here to IWC Super Indy, and he could be one of those guys who you don't see on the IWC radar beforehand, but after Super Indy, you see a lot of them in the future. Not if this man has anything to say about it. LeRusso has put a very high benchmark out there for himself. He has already flat out stated here earlier tonight, he is better than CM Punk. He is better than AJ Styles. He is better than the men who built the Super Indy division and the men who have made it famous and the men that have taken it to new heights. LeRusso is the heir apparent. It's not just a tagline. He believes he is the natural-born successor and surpasser of all that come before him. He was unsuccessful in the quarterfinals of Super Indy 15, but now he comes into Super Indy 16 a defending champion. He relinquished the physical championship earlier tonight. However, if he survives this tournament, which he's predicted he'll do, his reign will continue uninterrupted.
The title is in abeyance.
That's a good word us announcers have really used well over the years.
Thank you. You know, I came up with it.
You came up with the word.
Yeah. I mean, using it in this fact.
I see. Modern day Merriam-Webster is Jay Worthing in front of you. And LeRusso was intimidated by Orlando in the very early going. Orlando, NCAA football champion 2013, actually wound up as part of the Oakland Raiders in the NFL, but...
Wait, wound up? Like you just woke up one morning and all of a sudden there was a helmet there?
No, I didn't,
Oops, I'm a Raider? How does that happen?
I didn't ask him, if he was drafted or recruited, whatever the case was. I know he was an Oakland Raider, but he did not stay in the Oakland Raiders because he moved on to pro wrestling. That was his dream and his passion. Is that okay with you?
You don't need to okay stuff with me. I don't okay with the guy who woke up a Raider.
Three-year captain of the collegiate team, All-American in football and wrestling in high school. Orlando traps LeRusso for 2. You can see some of that natural athleticism. 103-2 record in high school.
I want to point out that he lifted him with no problem and tossed him back down like it wasn't a thought, Joe. Look at that, that's some power.
Well, we talked a lot about the weight advantages and disadvantages in this matchup. What do you think Orlando's got on LeRusso right now, weight-wise? I
was about to ask you the same thing. I'd probably go, if I'm looking, I'd say about, right now it looks like about 500 pounds.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that.
Okay. I think your estimating skills are in a state of abeyance.
I don't know. I mean, my estimating skills are normally pretty strong. So.
And there's a leg sweep. Orlando's got height on LeRusso, too. LeRusso is at a physical disadvantage, at least. But the advantage that LeRusso has had throughout his career, especially his run here in IWC, has been how calculated he is, has been how devious he can be.
And he just got out of Dodge and let the... do we have a name for this contingent? Is it... Vincent Steele, would we call them the Steelmen? Are they the Steelers? Can we call them the Steelers?
I hope we don't call them the Steelers.
I kind of want to refer to them as the Steelers from here on out.
I know BC Steel has used the word steel corp over the years, but I don't know if that's what he describes LeRusso and Bolton Nasty. These guys are just bad news. That's bottom line. Bolton Nasty at ringside in Super Indy is a very dangerous situation. LeRusso went for that jumping knee strike. Orlando had it scouted. And LeRusso jumping up on the enziguri, and Orlando unfazed. Yeah, that's what LeRusso's thinking too. Dealed out of the corner.
I have to imagine that this is not part of the overriding game plan that he had come up with.
Well, you think?
I think he may want to run home and get a roll of nickels.
Knee strike by Orlando now. Into the cover. And a near fall. Man, LeRusso less than half a count away from being eliminated already.
Introduced to the a good kick by Orlando.
Absolutely. Orlando, his training doesn't just encompass the Monster Factory. Well, let's call this here Splash Mountain position.
Sure. I'd also go Razor's Edge.
Well, LeRusso didn't want to go anywhere in that exchange, but now he winds up on the outside.
LeRusso just barely getting himself to his feet. Oh, don't worry, Bolt caught him. He's okay.
Oh, thank God.
Oh!
Couldn't catch that. Everybody's down.
Flying Orlando.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Orlando, one of those guys that LeRusso identified as, I'm better than you. Does he feel the same way now?
I don't know that he feels anything but pain right now. I just nothing against Bolt Nasty, but I can't imagine he's the softest thing to land on.
I would suggest not. Orlando's training, not just the Monster Factory, but also trained by John Trotsky, who longtime IWC fans will remember for a cup of coffee here in 2003 as Supremely Great. And also for you longtime fans, I will mention that, yes, Orlando was announced as the Green Machine, not the Dream Machine. Moving on. LeRusso with a high kick. And check out LeRusso using the bottom rope as a springboard. LeRusso got the knee strike off that time. Cover, and only two. LeRusso has so many devious ways about him. You forget how proficient he is at the martial arts and many different combat styles. I don't know that I can name a style of fighting that LeRusso has not studied under at some point in his tenure.
I mean, you're absolutely right. All of the head games and the shortcuts you shouldn't take as an indicator that he can't get it done in the ring. It's just that he chooses not to.
And a great drop kick as well. Well, we know that Jonathan Gresham is moving on. Who do you think would be a better matchup to Jonathan Gresham and the Master of the Octopus Stretch in the semifinals between these two men?
Well, as much as I would like to see the Giants, Mike Orlando and Jonathan Gresham tie it up, I got to give odds to Chris LeRusso because he has Ben C. Steele and Bolt Nasty there watching him. That has to give you a psychological advantage.
Orlando hits the back of his head off the canvas as LeRusso trips him up. LeRusso into the cover now. Only finds two. What about the psychological advantage of coming in the defending champion?
Well, he was, but now the title's in abeyance, Joe.
You just want to use that word as much as possible.
I get 25 cents every time from Miriam Woods. Whoever she is.
Orlando elevates LeRusso. And the heir apparent is now seeing this fight head dangerous territory.
I was going to say, nothing against the striking ability of Chris LeRusso, but I don't know that that's what I would be looking to do against someone of that size. Oh,
trips Orlando up again. Orlando missed the ring frame and collided largely hard on that floor.
For all the talk of it's the hardest part of the ring, it's still nicer to hit that at 3 or 4 feet of a drop than the cement underneath or the hard basketball floor in this case at 6 feet. So.
Or DDT for 2. Benjamin C. Steele getting a bit frustrated. BC Steele needs to watch his blood pressure tonight. He may be in for a long night, even under the best possible circumstances. Orlando to the floor. What is LeRusso going to do? Are you kidding me? LeRusso flies.
No.
That's why LeRusso does not fly that often.
Flown and caught, propped up and dropped on the ring apron.
You notice LeRusso's body bounced off of that ring frame. There was no give. His body absorbed 100% of that impact.
Like a pink rubber ball, Joe. Like a pink rubber ball.
Could Orlando be going in for the kill here? Will we see?
Oh, here we go up into Splash Mountain again.
Yeah, this could be arguably the third upset of 4 in the quarterfinal round as LeRusso gets absolutely launched nearly out of the ring.
Tossed him like a lawn dart, Joe.
But the damage done to Orlando, at least 2 very awkward spills in this matchup. Orlando is slow to capitalize thanks to what LeRusso's done.
And there we go.
Could this be enough? And BC steal.
What? He's just pointing out that he got his foot to the rope.
Pointing out, more like creating that opportunity for LeRusso.
I did not see any such thing. Can we rewind that back?
We're live, pal. We'll get the Sorgatron Media and IndyWrestling.us replay up for you, maybe during our live intermission. Maybe when we tag out a little later on. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But Mike Orlando was winning the striking game, LeRusso to the eyes. And LeRusso lands on the knee.
Shot to the gut now. Oh, good release, German.
Oh my God. LeRusso's still folded up. That'll do it. Upset. No. And LeRusso has been making headlines lately from Super Indy to the Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament and everywhere in between. LeRusso himself is a skyrocketing career, but that could be shut down. Mike Orlando could make his name in Pittsburgh at the expense of Chris LeRusso here.
Oh. It looks like those kicks it looked like he was trying to back out a little on those kicks, but as they went up, they just hit higher.
And BC still pulling the leg of Orlando.
I saw nothing.
Well, of course not. And LeRusso waiting in the wings.
Getting some twist on that forearm. Nope.
Well, where's Orlando going to put him?
I think he's still deciding.
Oh my gosh! LeRusso elevated on top of Bulk Nasty again. And here we go, Orlando. No! Oh my gosh, Orlando went high risk. And it did not entirely pay, well, it didn't pay off. He got LeRusso and Bulk Nasty. He made contact, but man, the landing was awkward as hell.
Less of a dive, more of a tumble, but it's still connected.
And some of our event staff got taken out. BC Steele is hurt. Orlando, this guy, he's a big guy. He's got to be about 270. And he just, with reckless abandon, threw caution to the wind.
Oh.
And again, you can see LeRusso didn't get hit flush. That kryptonite crunch, whatever you want to call it, LeRusso gets a near fall.
LeRusso got that knee up the counter, hit the kryptonite crunch. He has to look to put it away now.
Orlando's hurt, LeRusso's hurt. We're just in the first round.
It looks like LeRusso's having a problem with that turnbuckle.
Is LeRusso trying to remove the turnbuckle? Bulk Nasty! The receiving end of a spinning heel kick, much deserved. Oh, a BC Steele with powder. That turnbuckle pad was a diversion. Powder to the eyes, thrust kick, knee strike. LeRusso now pump handle. Drives Orlando down. Super Indy champion. Gonna steal this thing and move on.
What did I tell you? Advantage. The advantages of being one of the Steelers, Joe.
Yeah, you're really proud of that, aren't you?
You have your teammates watching your back.
And Chris LeRusso advances on to the semifinals one-on-one I hope it's going to be one-on-one. It'll be more like three-on-one if this matchup's any indication. LeRusso and Gresham in the semifinals, as LeRusso, only one man in history, has ever entered a Super Indy tournament as champion and left with title intact. LeRusso could do that here tonight and be successful. But Jay Worth, Super Indy is so big, you need more than one announce team. We're going to tag out here in just a moment, and we're going to let the voice of Pittsburgh Sports Talk Radio, Mark Madden, bring in the second round. And Adam Cole and Joey Janela, he'll be joined, unfortunately, by Benjamin C. Steele. We couldn't get around that part. But hope